I was quite impressed with the quality of the video this morning on my little camera, and I just wanted to scroll back a wee bit and explain first of all where comments are at these days. Now, all the videos that I've ever made of Bealtaine Cottage reveal to you my home. This is my home. And I'm happy to share my home because it's all in the service of Mother Earth. And you can see the goddess out there, look. One of my many goddesses around the garden. So I'm just looking out from where I sit at my desk. So this is the way that I look, this is the way that I view comments now. So I'll just explain. I happily invite you all to my home and the 3 acres of land that I've planted with trees, because I do believe that this is a great way to promote Mother Earth, and it's all about promoting planting and promoting the planting of trees. I'm just going to move around a little bit here. Okay, so come on, Jack, we'll just move out here and sit down for a moment. Put my tea down there. Now, you've been for a walk already. Yes, now we'll take you for another one. The way that I see comments is very much in the same light as I see visitors to my home. And this is why I just simply will not put up with trolling comments, or comments that are sarcastic or cruel, or there's a deliberate subtext going on, you know, the usual thing. Oh, yes, I love Bealtaine Cottage, you'd make great videos, Colette, but I wouldn't expect friends who called here at my home to come out with nonsense like that. So I do peruse the comments on YouTube now and again. I can't help that because I'm sat at my desk for quite a few hours each day because I write. But I'm now answering all comments and all questions. I'm very happy to do so over on my home site of bealtainecottage.com, and that is the website that I have privately hosted on WordPress. And because I have it privately hosted and I pay for the privilege, I have complete creative control, which is a little bit like how one lives in one's own home. In order to post a comment over on WordPress, as far as I know, one has to have an email address and kind of supply the email address. So these incredibly brave keyboard warriors who won't go public are not able to comment over there. And so I feel comfortable in my own home. That's not too difficult to understand. And I think it's the perfect analogy. It's more than an analogy, it's actually a fact. This is where I live. This is what I share. I don't do it for profit, because if I did, I'd have advertising. As you know, I've gone over this before. I share it in order to promote planting for the health of Mother Earth. Everything I've done over the past 16 years has been about Mother Earth. Everything that I will do until the day I die will be about Mother Earth. It can't be more simple than that. So if anyone chooses to visit me here in my home, then expect to be treated in the same way as you would treat a visitor to your home. Which is, quite simply, if the visitor comes in hurling abuse at you, or being sarcastic and cruel, or trying to start an argument with you or other friends you have in your home, then I'm quite sure you'd show them the door. I certainly would. So anyway, that's that. Now, I'm going to experiment a little bit more with my phone here in the camera, because I know I can get some lovely close-up shots, and as proved by this morning's upload, it didn't take too long to load this video up onto YouTube. So let me just carry out a little experiment. First of all, the roses are incredible. I think that's a pretty good close-up, isn't it? Without having to use the camera and the zoom lens. So this is a pretty good close-up. This is an iPhone, by the way, because I have bought the best equipment possible in order to share everything that I share. So I think it's an iPhone 10. I'm not 100% sure of that. So it does do pretty good close-ups. Let me see if I can get a little close-up of this beautiful, oh, look at that, that's not bad, is it? That's the Herb Robert, which has got tiny little flowers. So that's quite good. And I think just keeping it steady in my hand is the main thing that I have to get used to. Oh, Jack says to himself, she's off on her jollies again, another little walk. This is good. I can read your mind, boy. So this is the beautiful sedum, which is called Autumn Spectabilis. Of course, it hasn't opened up yet, but when it does, it's a beautiful dusky pink. See if we can get a close-up of this poppy, which is keeping herself quite closed up at the moment. More stuff to take over to the growing compost heap. Oh, and I'm cutting all this bay at the moment. Do you know, it would be great if I could post this out to people, because this is the sweetest, most beautiful bay. It's actually sweet bay. It's so fragrant, it's beautiful. But, well, we all know the story of that. And there's the Buddleia, which is opening up. Isn't that lovely? See, I think that this little camera phone does some pretty good shots. Now I'm going to make this video a little bit longer than this morning's. And again, just sort of measure the amount of time it takes to upload it. Because this is a different part of the day, of course, as well. And it also means that the internet may be a little bit more busy within my area. And of course I upload everything using this little phone anyway. From what I heard this morning, the sound was okay actually, not too bad. Now someone said the sound wasn't as good, but if you've watched videos over the past week, you'll know that the bird song has really quietened down. And for the reasons that I stated on those, I think, 2 separate videos, I talked about that. And I was quite impressed with the way the light changed as I pointed the camera up towards the roof of this arch. I think it's a case of if you move slowly with it, it's pretty good. Now, someone asked me about what app did I use. I probably mistakenly used the word app on my previous video. What I meant was when you go onto your YouTube site, there is a little button where you can make a video, but it's not a live video. So that's what I meant. Look at these apples. And they're all perfect. Do you know well, I don't spray things anyway. You know, I've never sprayed anything. I think you only need to spray things, you know, when you're growing a monoculture or where there doesn't seem to be a lot of health in the land because you haven't planted enough diversity. But you can see here, these apples are perfect. Look, they're still only small because they won't be ready until probably the end of August. You can see them all, look, through these apple trees as well. So I was opening up this path yesterday and just pruning a little bit of the hedge, just enough so as I could get up and down the path, because that's where my compost bins are. Tiny little flowers there on the snowberry bush. And that's a very young apple tree over there. Probably got too many apples on it at the moment, but it's trying its best. And this is one ginormous compost heap. Let me just pull back so you can see. There's more Bealtaine over there. Of course, this is the Lunasa garden. Lots and lots of mint. Look at all the mint coming up. And you can see there is a bit of bindweed, you know. But I don't give it too much thought, really. I just let it all go and then get in there and give it a jolly good tidy up round about the end of August. And that's time enough to cut back. And in the meantime, I just try to keep the paths open, which is a full-time job in itself. In fact, it's crazy trying to keep these paths open. In fact, I was over here the other day, just planning on walking down the steps to the fairy wood. That Bealtaine up there. And I had to give up the ghost because I couldn't get through. Because there was nettles there, you know, and I didn't want to kind of get stung. And I was wearing basically what I'm wearing now, which is, you know, I've got bare legs there. I managed to open up this path and cut back the young hedge, just enough, again, just enough to give me access to where I need to go. The birds are all busy feeding. You can see the nettles here, look. So I've got to come down along here and open up this path as well. Let's get a close-up of some of this beautiful cow parsley. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the little insect on it, the little fly. Now further down the land you can hear birds, because they've gone right down into the woods, into the woodland that I planted. Let's see if I can just navigate my way gingerly through these nettles without getting stung. And look, I can't get to that chair over there now. There's the fairy wood down there. And you can see the rowan tree. The rowan tree's grown magnificently again this year. See, there's a blackbird gone flying through there. Again, look, the nettles are very close, so I don't want to be encouraging them to tap me. But look at that. It's quite delightful, isn't it? You know, when you can get close-ups like that. Rather beautiful. It's beautifully quiet, serene. Little birds flying about. I suppose really, after all the springtime revelry and the early summer revelry, the little birds are quite exhausted. Now, can you see into the badger set? Now you'd think, oh, it hasn't been used this year because look at everything that's growing in the front of it. But there's 3 new entrances and exits being borrowed out, and they're mostly on the other side over there. I saw a badger killed on the road the other day just in front of me, and I was so upset. So upset. I think I'm getting more and more sensitive about these issues, you know. Anyway, I'm not embarrassed to tell you, I cried all the way home. And I cursed the driver in front who was going too fast. They just bomb along the roads without any thought. And you know, I drive well within the speed limit. I try to keep to about 50 kilometres an hour on the roads, which is about 30 mile an hour. Because at this time of the year, have you noticed the birds are swooping down across in front of cars? And it's so easy if you're speeding to hit them. So, slow down, folks. We'll all get there in the end. And we shouldn't be in such a rush from the cradle to the grave, should we? But it does seem, you know, to me in a way, that the bigger the car, or the more expensive the car, the faster the driver will drive, the more arrogance is imbued in the whole experience of driving. And not an awful lot we can do about that. Little seed heads, look, from the large tree. It's a large tree just above. There's the path that was cleared. There's a little black currant bush, look, it's come up. Might even be a little red currant. See, the birds are dropping seeds all over the place. We can hear little birds now. My tunnel needs a good sweep out, doesn't it? That's like a beaten earthen floor, so it does sweep quite well. And there's the Lysomachia punctata. Now someone did ask me about the name of the yellow flowers down by the road. Well, these are them, and they're called Lysomachia punctata. Lysomachia punctata, Lysomachia. I think, Lysomachia punctata, Punctata. Or the common generic name for them is yellow loosestrife. And they're perennials, and they're lovely. Beautiful, aren't they? So, oh, are you eating your grass again? Well, that's good, Jack. Look at where the birds have taken off the raspberries. Okay, so we're up to 21 minutes, and that just seems to have flown by. So I'm going to say blessings to you all and see, again, I'm kind of monitoring this, see how long it takes me to upload this. Look, there's some empty stalks there in the black currants. Between myself and the birds, there's a great deal of feasting going on. And why not? It's only another week and a bit until Lunasa. So blessings to you all. And for those of you who are interested, the links to books and maps and bumper stickers and even the calendar can be found below this video and every video. Blessings to you all.